So much about farming and markets is about reliability and that seasonal cycle. So the biggest disaster, like every other sector when the pandemic hit, is first off, farmers lost fully a third to half of their customers. Farmers markets, their kind of last holdout, they shut down immediately as most cities and towns just put a halt to all community gathering. My name is Daniel Taylor, and I'm the co-director of Greenbelt Markets that runs the Greenbelt Farmers Market Network.
I'm Alexa. I'm the market manager for the Leslieville Farmers Market. When the pandemic hit, we were just about to plan our new season, and we really had no answers, and we had all these vendors coming towards us really stressed out. We have farmers that have planted seeds or purchased seeds, and they have no idea if the market season was going to happen.
As we watched markets not be able to open, we went from this long-term community development organization to how do we all of a sudden find a whole new way for farmers markets to operate and function in a matter of a few weeks. We essentially partnered with a local tech company to provide dozens of free online market spaces for each market and all their vendors.
Hi, I'm Kuna from Kuna Farms. I currently help the farm with planning their seasons, helping with their inventory, and also with their marketing. When the pandemic hit, it was a little scary at first. We have a pretty small farm and a little farm store, so what we ended up doing was reducing our hours, reducing the amount of customers that could visit. Then we were presented with the option to go to online selling, which really kind of made up for those losses that we had to face. Due to the pandemic, we were only expecting to do about 50% of our annual gross sales, but I think from being able to sell online, being able to provide all of our produce in that online catalog, and being able to sell to more members of the community, our numbers definitely surpassed that 100% mark.
We got to provide a new way of markets operating. So from switching to just being in person, cash in hand, we got to now open up this new area that was really helpful for people that already maybe had social anxieties that didn't want to come into the market. And then specifically with COVID, it really helped those customers who just could not take that chance of coming to an in-person market. They could come and still support all of their favorite vendors and farmers, especially in a time when it felt like a lot of things were just being taken away from us. So they just didn't have to lose the market.
So the hard impact was hundreds of farmers and dozens of markets got to operate throughout the pandemic when otherwise they couldn't. We can think about the future use there when we have climate disruptions, when we watch our global food system, which is so fragile, all of a sudden become disrupted and shelves become bare for certain things. People saw consistency there in local farmers. And really what we're talking about is, whether it's a farmer's market or a website or a storefront, we're looking at how do we create ways for us as people that live in cities and towns to connect with the farmers that live just next door to us. And that made a vehicle for that to happen.
Conservation areas have really been a release valve for a lot of people to cope with the pandemic. And by getting out into nature, it helps people to connect with friends and family. It improves their physical health. It improves their mental well-being. And it's been a lifeline.
Hi there, my name is Kim Gavin, General Manager with Conservation Ontario. Conservation Ontario is a not-for-profit organization which represents a network of Ontario's 36 conservation authorities. On an annual basis, conservation areas see about 8 million visitors a year, but during the onset of the pandemic, there was a significant increase, in some cases double that amount. Conservation authorities played a critical role during the pandemic. Not only did they continue with their key programs such as flood management, drinking water source protection, and restoration, they developed some very innovative programs and services.
My name is Mark Witwitsky. I'm a Chief Operating Officer at the Conservation Holton. One of the opportunities we identified was to look at the options of completely redesigning the way we think about the park operation and how we can bring people safely to the parks. So we've partnered up with a local Canadian startup that helped us to actually execute the vision of the time slots concept to come to the conservation areas. We launched a new product which is called now the Park Pass system and the system that we use in our parks until this day, which essentially what it does is allows us to ensure that there is a safe passage of people into the parks.
My name is Christy Virgo. I'm the Director of Stewardship and Conservation Lands with Kawartha Conservation.
And I'm Melissa Creasy-Alexander, a Conservation Area Technician for Kawartha Conservation.
When we took a look at our parks, we really saw them as a way for the community to get outside, to be active and have an opportunity to connect with each other. And so we really focused our programs and our efforts on maintaining and creating those opportunities for the community to connect.
One of the ones that we ended up coming up with was our Talking Forest, a mobile app that you can download for free on Android or iOS systems, and you can use it to go on a guided trail walk through the forest. So the trees will physically speak to you as you're walking through the trails. You'll learn about the different parks, you can be guided to different areas inside Ken Reed and some of our other conservations as well.
One of the projects that we did was our forest therapy program, which is a nature-based mindfulness. This was a really unique opportunity for us to bring the community back together, to help them reconnect to each other, to reconnect to the land, and to get a sense of belonging within the community.
Hi, I'm Andrew Kett. I'm the Senior Manager of Education and Outreach at Credit Valley Conservation. We've implemented a new program in our parks called the Conservation Interpreter Program. Really, it's just education interpreter staff who are out in the park, engaging with visitors, helping visitors out if they have questions, and also helping them to better understand, the importance of land and water and protected areas and areas like the Greenbelt. The conservation authorities in your community are working hard to help protect your community from flooding, to help reduce heat vulnerability, and to protect beautiful natural spaces for us all to visit and recharge.
If you were to remove all the conservation lands owned by conservation authorities, you would not have a robust system of natural heritage in southern Ontario.